Hey guys, Tim Gillette back here with episode number 42. Yeah, 42. I can't believe it when I was counting them the other day that I actually have done 42 now of these things, helping people with different blogging and branding ideas. So Rock Around Your Blog is the name of my program and my mentorship program for helping people build a blog and use their personal story and personal brand to do so. And I teach and speak on blogging all over the country, as well as I have several blogs, and I'm currently sinking them down to just 3. I will only have just 3 blogs after this next month because I'm narrowing everything down. I'm getting to write too much. However, I am always looking for guest bloggers, people to blog on me, and those people who go through my mentoring program they're first to get an opportunity to guest blog with me. But others I've met in the industry and stand out, I let them also guest blog on some of my blogs. All right, several thousand people have followed me and subscribed to my blogs, and as well as my podcasts and my radio show and now video channels. So, I mean, as you see on here, I believe it on here, I have around 1,000 people who follow me just on a video channel. We're on here on Blab. So we record this Rock Around Your Blog show on Blab, and we're putting it out in podcast format as well as on my blog. So you guys can catch all of the replays. They'll be up on my blog, timgillette.com, real soon. Every one of them will be up there. So I want to jump in tonight because most everybody goes into me and they say to me, Tim, in your mentorship program, one of the things I start telling people is I actually get people to go and set up in my mentorship program a WordPress.com site first. And I know a lot of people in the blogging industry are telling people, oh, no, if you're serious, you're going to go out and create a WordPress.org. You're going to self-host it. And I'm not putting them down. All right? I'm not putting them down because it is a very wise decision to do that. However, working with a lot of people that I work with, they are new coaches, new speakers, new direct sales people creating a blog idea for the first time. Most of them have no audience. They have no social media connections, and it's kind of like going to that networking meeting for the very first time. You walk in, and I was at one today. I was at a networking luncheon and was there, and you can tell the newbies. All right? They walk in. They're kind of shy because they don't know anybody in the room. And that's what happens when we create that blog. We go to spend all that money and invest in something, and great, I mean for you to invest in your business. But too often, you'll invest into it and then do nothing with it. All right. I have several people who invested in stuff off of my affiliate program. I'm good. Yeah, good. Everybody doing good in here tonight. Invested in my affiliate program or affiliate something I sold, and then they didn't do anything with it. So, I mean, while I like making a little extra money here and there, the last thing I like to do is make money from something that someone is invested in and not doing something with it. So before you dish out and have, because my website, all right, I have several $1,000s into the development of it and the changing of the graphics, and I had someone design it. And I'm not even going to tell you how much I paid her. I mean, I have several thousands of dollars into it. They do nothing, like I said. And that takes a lot of money rather than, you can put a quick site up, and there are some people out there teaching blogging who teach you the $99 thing, and then they try to teach you the plugins, and by the time you get the plugins done and get your subscriptions done in there, a lot of them are not set up right, and they don't connect right, and they don't build a list. The next thing you know, a month goes by, they get the bill of hundreds of dollars, all right, and I'm not making any money with it. Too often I see that, and it really started to bug me in the industry when I started talking about this, and May is when we put this program together to start helping people. I want results. And if you've got no following, you're going to do your first podcast, your first recording, your first blog, whatever it is. 6 people are listening. 6 people are reading that, all right? Those 6 people are my best friend Kevin from high school. He still reads my stuff. He read my first one. He was on my first radio show. My cousin Cindy, my oldest cousin. I hate to say she's my oldest cousin because she's my prettiest cousin. Anyway, she listens to all of my podcasts, all of my radio shows. She listens to them in her shop when she's there. She's such a grand supporter of me, and I love her. And Cindy, if you see this, I love you. All right, my mom. All right, my Aunt Jean. All right, my Uncle Mike. My brother Ken, my brother Nate, my brother Jim. These are people who listen to my stuff. But the truth is, all right, if that's these people are the ones who are going to listen to you, and these are the biggest ones that we're afraid to put it out of because they're probably our biggest critics. All right, we all have that. Admit it, you have that family member who criticizes everything. Oh yeah, here we go with another one. That's why I don't want you to dump $1,000, $500, $200, or $100 into a website that you're not sure you're going to put a commitment to. Now, WordPress.com. WordPress.com is a free blogging platform. And again, it's no different than, people out there using Blogger.com, Blogspot, I believe, is one. I'm trying to think of all of them that are out there. Some people are using Medium. Some people are just using Tumblr. All right. There's a lot of different platforms out there, and I'm not going to put them down. The reason I choose WordPress.com, and it's why I teach and do it with my mentorship course when you go through my one-day workshop, and we set you up on WordPress.com, is after you do get a following. All right. And I did. If you go back and look at my original blog, it was rockerlifecoach.wordpress.com, and you can go look at that address. All right. Michael, can you type that address in there? Rockerlifecoach.wordpress.com. You guys can go look at it. That was my original blog, and it is still up there. Some of the stuff is still on that page. All right. And when you look at that and go check out what I did, I got started there. However, all of those articles have been transferred over to my new website. And if you go over to my new website, which is timgillette.com, rockerlifecoach.com takes you there as well, and you get there, you actually get to see the fact that you go back to the oldest articles, they're the same as they were on that webpage. I've not changed them. The only thing that's changed over the years is some people had pictures and stuff on there that we pulled pictures off. All right, and that's a whole other thing I'm going to talk about in the next 2 days. I think Monday I have scheduled, either Monday night or Tuesday night, I have my scheduled blab about Rock on Your Blog on pictures and why we need to do pictures because of the fact that I recently had to pull a lot of old pictures off because I thought I owned the rights to them and I didn't, and I got cease and desist letters from lawyers. So, and I'll go into that next week. So, but when we did that original blog, everything was transferable. And it's a matter of 2 or 3 clicks to do it. And that's one I'll do someday too, as well as a training video on how to actually pull them off and put them onto your new site. And they look the same. It doesn't change anything. It brings your pictures over, brings your media over, brings your files over, and it all switches real quickly. Now, if you're on Blogger, you're on all those other platforms, they don't switch over that easily. That's why I like to use this because of the fact I still recommend WordPress is still the simplest way for someone to do a website. And if you can go out and do your own WordPress website, which you can, however, I'm of the belief that once you get the following and you start making money with this thing, then you hire someone like the graphics person to come in and pretty it up. But until you've had a following, until you actually have done something with it, why invest a ton of money? Invest your time first. Put the effort out first to get it done. When the effort's there and now you build a following from your effort, now you invest in your money into your building as a business. Yes, on WordPress.com, you cannot do like affiliate links. But again, you can put affiliate links in there all day long. If you have no followers, you're not going to make any money. And again, I'll cover that in further episodes when we do this again. So that's the main things why I do it on WordPress.com. And the fact that I actually set up my first one in 17 minutes, it took me to set it up till I had a blog post out, and I teach that in my presentation. I'll actually put the video out one of these days on doing it because I actually have it done. I did it with a series of pictures that I do in every one of my presentations. What I want to do is, I know we have about 11 people left in the room here, is I'm going to put this, again, seats are open. If you got to come in with your questions or maybe why you want to do things on the idea of blogging on WordPress.com. Be glad to answer your questions and talk to you, answer any one of your questions about why you might be doing WordPress.com and getting started there as opposed to starting it fresh out on your website. So I want to welcome some of the new people coming into the room who here I see Alex is curious. I know who this is. Hello.
Mideleri iyi tutmak lazım, ünü üşütmemek lazım. Vermont, 1971.
Hello, Alexa, are you live?
Thank you. I always wanted to be Gorgon.
Well, all right. Anyone else? I see we have DFW Empowerment has joined the room. All right. Some of the people I actually wanted to see jump in tonight because I wanted some stuff about it. So, wowzers. So, anybody, was that helpful with you as to why you would actually start it there? How many do have? All right. If you do have a blog right now, and if you're on WordPress, type 1 in the chat box so I can see who has a WordPress blog. One. Okay. A WordPress theme. Well, that's what we call the CU on top marketer. That's the WordPress.org. That is a WordPress-based website. And yes, that's where I want people to go to eventually. The reason I was talking about this WordPress, that's not hosted on WordPress. Yeah, those who actually do it on a WordPress.com site. If you've got a marketing business, which I'm sure you do, all right, for what you do, after you build it up, you know what I mean? That's when you go over there. That's the idea that, like, I'm going to start this business and I've got no customers. That's like the guy who decides he spends all the money. And I actually have seen this done here in Plano, Texas, in the area I live. There is a guy here who actually started a coffee shop across from the most successful Starbucks in Plano. And he put all of his money into it, everything into everything into this coffee shop. And he didn't even do research on who the clientele was. So you can imagine that, putting all your money and all that stuff into a business. I met you in 2000. DFW Empowerment. I got to see who you are. DFW Empowerment. Click in the window. I got to see who this is. I've met so many people through Sherry Prindle. So.
Hi, how are you?
All right, how are you?
I'm good.
Do you remember me from Sherry Prindle, huh?
I do. Yeah, it was back in 2014. Actually, it was like the beginning of 2014. I think maybe in January.
Okay, yeah. Sherry Prindle used to be in my mastermind program.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, are you still part of our meetup group in Dallas?
You know what? I haven't been. Things have been crazy. I actually left my my full-time job. I went through a divorce, a really ugly divorce, after I started the coaching. And so I actually left my full-time job in the corporate world over the summer to pursue this full-time. So that's kind of where I am. So yeah, I actually want to very soon.
Yeah. Because we do a monthly stuff for coaches. So, and it's held first Monday of every month here in Dallas, North Dallas. We have it at it's the Coffee House Cafe. Right. For that group, if you're in the meetup group, and that used to be Sherry's still one of the leaders in that group. So
awesome.
All right, and she's not in town, so I took over leading it for her.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, well, good to know.
Yeah, and I teach like all marketing stuff for coaches at that event.
Perfect.
So if you're right, like where you're at now, trying to figure out how do I market myself, that's what it comes up to.
Yes, that's the infancy stage for sure.
Yeah, I'm checking this point. So, I mean, yeah. So tell us, I mean, do you have a website right now?
I do. It's dfwempowerment.com.
Okay.
So now I do all of my focus on life and love and those basically love and sexual empowerment. That's kind of where my niche fell in.
Okay. And you do have clients in there now or no?
I do. Actually, I have 4 active clients right now. I've had clients off and on, but because of just, this nasty divorce and because I was working and, being thrust into that single mom life, it really kind of limited my ability. So I decided that I was just going to jump feet first back into it and refocus and rebrand and rebuild everything. And so that's kind of where I'm at. So far it's going good, but there's so much that, I still have left to learn and, start.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I mean, in that, there's stuff I share with coaches and marketing and coaches in that group that I'm not going to share here. This one here is my nightly blogging stuff. So, But connect with me offline. All right. And I'll give you some pointers. I just clicked through to some of your stuff on your websites that you have.
Yeah.
You're going to love it. Okay. And I can give you a couple pointers that you need to fix.
That would be great.
So, yeah. And I'm all about helping people. So especially and if you're in the group. So,
Yeah.
but, excuse me. So you see what I'm teaching people here about the blogging and why you need to actually have a blog without a following. Because if you go out and put all that money in a website and you don't have anything going, it can be costly real quick.
Yep.
Yeah. So, all right. Anybody else want to jump in tonight?
Yeah.
Thanks. See you on Top Marketer. Jump in a window real quick because what you just said in there, I want to be able to find a way to connect with you. And I see Wendy's in the room. Two Guys Talking is in the room. Mike's in the room. I love it, man. He's a cool guy, man. Doug, if you can. Laura, hey, I see you're still in the room. So I would love to get some of you guys' feedback on this. So checking out who else is in our room. So actually going to buzzing the free WordPress out for CEO purses here is the next week or two. You're going to be using the free WordPress for SEO purposes. SEO marketing, yeah, I wanted to talk with you about that so if you could. But Two Guys Talking, yeah, you got a great studio. I think, yeah, I mean, what you got going on is awesome stuff. I remember seeing you the other day, just the studio stuff you've got going on. So, okay, yeah, I do blabs regularly. So, I mean, yeah, if you've got stuff going on, we can always stuff that goes on together. So I'm always looking for great collaborations. That's the David Bowie in me. All right, I want to collaborate with good people. So anybody else want to jump in on this? You cleaned all day. Robin Wright's in the room. I love Robin Wright. Robin Wright, you missed it as I taught all this. Now you got to come in and tell me what you're doing with the blog. No. Can you guys believe that I've done 42 of these? Robin probably remembers my first one. I don't remember. No, I was just checking through today who was on my first one. No.
Hey.
Hey.
What was your question about the blog? Tell me. Ask me. What do you want me to know? What do you want to know from me?
But I haven't labbed yet. Do you have a WordPress.com website blog site still or no?
All right. WordPress.com is the free one. WordPress.org is hosting on your own, right?
Yes.
I always get them mixed up. I have WordPress.org.
Okay.
So
yeah, and most everybody here knows of it. Let me go across that one more time. Yeah. WordPress.org is the software or the operating system that runs your website. WordPress.com is a free blogging website that's designed for. It's kind of like another idea of just you be able to put a blog out and get started for free. They host it, they run it. They for free, you get to have it, like I said earlier up there, rockerlifecoach.wordpress.com. That was my original site. You're talking to let me bring this into the chat, into the thing here, Laura. When you are talking to your newbie bloggers, do you suggest that they have a plan and focus? Yes, I do. However, the biggest thing I find with newbie bloggers, Laura, is I actually in my workshop, I get them to put a blog post out before they even know everything that's behind it.
Don't you?
And, huh?
I was going to say, don't you think, well, a plan is great. Sometimes you just need to take the step, take that leap and just start. And you can learn as you go, which is what most bloggers have done.
This is, the reason I do that is I want you to get out there and start with the first blog. After you've posted, that takes away the stress. And you should see, you know what I mean? Every month, all right, I do this thing with the workshop, and that pushing that button to hit post you wouldn't believe watching the sweat on people in the room do it. They're like,
I get so excited. I'm so happy to hit that button now. I want to write it and boom, post it. I hate
That's-
scheduling almost because I'm so excited about what I've written that I want to share it right now, not later.
Hey, guy. So, I mean, that's it. I mean, but that first one, they're scared. After you get that first one out, now that's the fear. You get the fear gone. I've got it done. I mean, Mike can probably tell us on radio. Guys who do it on radio. You know what I mean? Same thing.
Podcasting, for sure, you're going to see almost exactly the same thing where very intimidating. It's getting in front of something, even though there's nothing in front of you but perhaps a silver microphone. But you're going to see very much the same thing where the jitters are there. And as long as you get them conversing about something and then just hopefully forget that the microphone's in front of them, it often turns into a really great moment for themselves that they get to remember.
Yeah. Do you I want to? Do you by any chance do? See, I started my radio by going over to Blog Talk Radio and trying it.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't care whether I screwed up or not. Again, I knew about 5 people were going to be listening, so
Sure.
what does it matter?
Well,
However,
that's kind of the value of the podcast network too, is that you get to come in and screw up all you want. I just make sure that what you put out is great.
yeah. So I mean, you've got an action plan, kind of like I have the action plan to get them blogging. Is I take them over to WordPress.com and get them started.
Mm-hmm.
And then as they work with me as clients and we get past a couple of posts up, what do? I go in and get it set up on their website, self-hosted, and get them rolling that way. But had they bought all the stuff to get that self-hosted site up there and did nothing with it, do you think they're going to like me? Afterwards, they're going to go, well, that was a waste of money. That Tim Gillette did nothing but cost me money. I don't want that. Right. I want results. Mm-hmm. So along the way, then you go, oh, yeah, I can do this.
I love that, Tim, that you start them out on the free version. I think that's really a great step because there are so many of us that see, commercials on TV, on radio, on the internet about you can build your own site and blah, blah, blah. And it's $500, $1,000 or whatever for a package. But they really do not give anything you get a template, yes, but there's really no value and no help in you understanding what it takes to get that traffic and promotion and all that other stuff that goes with it. So I think that's a really great selling point that you have.
Yeah. And true. I mean, it's the idea too with of getting it out there and getting it done. Most people don't read your first blog post. They just don't. All right.
Or the second or the
people
third.
Know I have a first blog post is because I tell about it in every speech. I tell you the title of it in every speech I do, Mm-hmm. Other than that, people would not go read it. You know what I mean? My first real popular post was almost 2 years into my blogging career that I really hit a big boost post.
I wrote for ScreenRant.com, which was the world's largest movie and television news website for a period of 3 years. And it was a great experience. The difference is that they already had their massive traffic. And so post one for them, which wasn't my first post, obviously, was a big giant to do, and I do remember it. But I totally agree with you, is that you don't have to be perfect. There does need to be some polish, though, and that, again, goes back to what we do inside of podcasting. Anybody can go and grab one of the freeware programs to record their voice or use your cell phone, but you always want to make sure that there's a bar of quality that you're reaching, and a lot of times people don't know what that is.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and explain to people what you do in your company so they understand your podcasting company. I really, because that's the next step. From mine, that's where you need to go next.
Sure. The gist is that podcasting, for me at least, is where everybody in the room here and everybody that you'll meet, whether it's in business or not, they all have a perspective. And it's probably something that I am not going to or want to take the time, or just don't have the time to take the time to go and learn their skill set and then share that skill set with someone on the internet, in particular via an audio podcast. And so what I do is I go and I meet people in business, whether we're helping them build a website or helping them become a podcaster. And we give them the opportunity to take their skill sets, their knowledge, but more importantly, their existing user base to grow and turn that into a regularly occurring podcast that then comes onto my network, thereby taking something great, surrounding myself with other great things, making the whole greater.
Mm-hmm. No. And from talking to you, I mean, this is what in 2 days, the second thing we've been on together. So, I mean, he knows podcasting. I don't even bother to try to teach you that. Well, I would look for the expert and send you there.
Yeah. And he's from St. Louis.
Huh?
He's another St. Louisan, Tim. We're all over the place, us St. Louis people. We rock.
So I hear the only thing I hear about St. Louis is they're losing a football team.
Who cares?
Lost a football team, and we don't care.
We don't care.
We don't care. We'll have
We've
another
lost,
one.
we've
We'll have another
lost
one.
football teams before. No big deal. No big. Listen,
We'll have another one, Tim.
St. Louis was also voted, I think it was USA Today, I forget who, but some national paper voted us the #1 sports city in the country as well. And so to say that, okay, we're losing a football team, how can you be the #1 sports city? That speaks to the owner of the team, who is not very nice.
Something else in regard to football, Tim, is that, if Dallas ever gets a football team, then we can talk about that team.
Yeah, we're still waiting for that. So, okay, so, let me tell you a little funny thing about this, okay? Something in my life. I've been in towns where because I lived in Philadelphia, and in Philadelphia, I was there when the 76ers won. I was in Philadelphia when the Phillies won, all right? I was in Philadelphia. I moved to Philadelphia from northern Pennsylvania as a kid the year the Eagles went to the Super Bowl for the first time. Exciting moment, right? Because I grew up a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, all right? And I'm still more of an Eagles fan than anything. But when I moved to Dallas, I was like, one thing I would love to do is live in a town to be there when they win a Super Bowl. Just it would be a cool thing,
Time to move.
I moved to Dallas, okay? Since being here, the Stars have gone to the championship and won. The Mavericks have gone to the championship and won. The Rangers have gone and lost, all right, twice, all right? The Cowboys haven't made it past the second round of the playoffs since I've been here in 17 years.
Wow.
I'm not a Cowboys fan, but because I live here, I thought this was the most likely city that I would get it in.
The only city I've traveled to that has been even close to the amount of sports that you hear for St. Louis is Boston. That's the closest one I've come to, because when I tell people I'm from St. Louis, even they start asking me about sports. Honestly, I really don't follow them all that much. I try to pay a little bit of attention because I live here and I know people are going to ask me, but I don't watch sports. And my husband doesn't even. So, he doesn't even follow that. But Boston is the closest city I've come to. Michael, are you okay? Yeah. All right, he's okay. All right, I saw that, and I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah. But I've lived in Boston as well. I lived in Boston when the Bruins won the championship.
But that is a pretty sports-heavy town there.
It is. So
yeah.
We're off on sports, all right. Yeah, you guys from St. Louis, anyway.
Sorry.
St. Louis is a town I'd like to speak in, and I'm not yet.
Yeah, we're gonna. Wait, who did that? Who said that?
What?
Tim said that.
Somebody said that's not happening anymore, right? And I don't know who that was because it was a girl's voice and it wasn't mine.
I didn't hear that. Maybe it's in another channel you've got open?
Oh, you know what? It probably is. It is. And I have to jump out. That's my clue to join in the other one. Sorry about that.
Good
Bye,
to see you,
guys.
Robin. Let's connect. See ya. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye.
Oh, that's funny. So, yeah, St. Louis is the one town. It's like I haven't spoken in it yet. I'd like to get a speaking gig up there. But
it's a great town. A lot of really interesting business in the, that what really does glance inside of sports, in particular baseball here, is that the business has a very different sense, just like the baseball fans do. I'm not originally from St. Louis. I'm a transplant from Milwaukee, transplant from South Boston. And so I know a lot different baseball than they do here. Mm-hmm. And it's a phenomenal town, especially for the fans of baseball. There is nothing quite like a Cardinal fan. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah. I was going to say, that, I've been through there, though, a time or two. I've ridden through St. Louis a time or two on motorcycles. But cool town. I mean, I didn't get a lot of time to spend there. But it was cool to go through it. And it's always I want to go back. But anyway. Yeah. So in the podcasting world that you're working in, all right, and how many of the people, when they come to you, even have anything online yet?
A lot of people have websites, and they're wondering how they can augment their website. And, it's not a quick, easy, cheap option to try and have a recurring podcast on your website. But it is incredibly valuable because what it transforms your website into is a place where there is always a soldier of information to provide information and ammo in the war of getting new customers,
Yeah.
which is a never-ending war. When you can go and in a series of the frequently asked questions is probably a great place to start for most podcasters, because every business has at least 10 or 12 questions that are asked. And now imagine how much time if you could actually kindly point those people over to a series of podcasts where those questions are answered. Imagine how much time you'd free up, not only of your time, but your employees' time.
Yeah, true. I mean, I teach people in the blogging training what do I blog about? Frequently asked questions. You know what I mean? One of the things I noticed about Blab when I joined here was their questions that were put in blog posts. And that's it. When you get a question that you see coming up on a regular basis, why not write a blog post about it? I mean, why not do a podcast? Do something so that you can save yourself having to answer it.
Yeah, there's a dream list we have inside of our we have an online to-do list via Asana.com. I'm not sure if your folks are familiar with that, but it's transformed the way that we can collaborate inside of a good organized to-do and project list. It's extraordinary because we get to not only talk to other people in a project, but if we have to involve someone else that's inside of another department, we're able to incorporate them just for that task or just for that project, and then it's wide open again. Super straightforward. It reminds me very much of you commenting inside of any social media platform. You provide what needs to be said inside of a comment set. So if there's a task, someone chimes in with the status on the task or has a question, you then chime in and it clicks and throws it up just like a comment, which is a really great way to go. It's very intuitive, and for anyone that's already inside the social media stream, you're going to benefit from it amazingly. It's Asana.com. Let me type that in here. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, type it into the chat box for people so they can actually go
got
check it out. So great resources there. Now, do we have any other questions, guys? /Q, /Q in the message area, and we can put them up on screen and answer them about blogging. And again, I mean, the idea tonight I wanted to share with you is some of the beginning things I do, is why I put people out on a free platform to get tested and going. And you know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with it. Too many people are stuck into that. I need to have a professional. The reason and there's another one I think I should cover in this, is one of the reasons why I recommend it is too many people go with the websites like Weebly and Wix, and because they're free and they get, but it's a free website. Yeah, but you can't do things with it like you can a WordPress site, not catalog like it is a WordPress site. And if I can get you used to the WordPress stuff on WordPress.com, I can take you over on a WordPress thing, and you're already familiar with the backside of it. I am not a WordPress expert. However, I've had many times where friends of mine are stuck on something behind the screens on their WordPress site that in 5 minutes over the phone, I get them to turn on and set up a profile for me to come in the backside, and I can usually find the problem in 5 minutes. And I don't know how to write code. I don't know anything about coding. I just learned WordPress enough to figure it out to fix up mistakes. And it's pretty much I can read a site and figure out what's wrong. So
yeah, WordPress offers a really great, straightforward, rudimentary baseline website that can get you and your stuff seen a lot faster than you trying it all on your own. That's absolutely true.
Yeah. So, and you know, the biggest thing I have, and I'm writing a book on this now, on the Rock Around Your Blog idea, and putting all in a book format to be able to sell. And I was writing today about, you know what I mean, putting stuff out on making money with your blog. So many people come to me with, that's their first question: how do I make money with a blog? And I go, if you've got no following, you're not going to make any money with your blog. If you think you're going to put a post up today and checks are going to start rolling in tomorrow, no, I had 100 posts up before I got any money from my blog. Okay, it's just,
yeah. Now, a really great way to start is to go and find and there are many of them. Many cities have what's called a bloggers guild or something like it, where there's going to be a platform where you and other writers /bloggers people that want to have a blog, you're able to collaborate, put all of your postings into one area. So that you can get that flavor and feeling of being on a published website. That really is also a great way to start. And not to step on your toes, Tim, finding that place where you can display your writing skills, that very often will also get you noticed, but then also help get you some audience. Having a definitive writing style is also something that will always benefit you. You just have to be consistent with it. I don't think that your presentation is about writing styles, but there is such a thing, and the way to develop those so that you can go and make money and be asked to write is to write your ass off for one, and then help try and churn your style and the ideas through. Something else as we were talking here, how do you have people generate ideas for writing? I'll tell you how I did mine when I was beginning blogging, but what do you tell people?
When I do my first one, first thing in the workshop is I pick a random based about, I know pretty much know everybody who's coming in that month's workshop ahead of time.
Sure.
So I pick a topic that is relevant to all of them. Last month's workshop, 60% of the people who are a part of the workshop were vegetarians.
Okay.
So I talked about, I made their blog.
Where was that, Tim?
Huh?
Where was that? I'm super curious.
I do my workshops. Those people go through my program in Dallas, Texas.
Okay, so the workshop where a whole bunch of vegetarians was in Dallas. Then.
Everybody, yeah. Well, no, they weren't. All of them. No. Some of them come from different cities around the country. I mean, they bought my package, but I hosted in Dallas.
Okay. I've got to learn more about your package stuff. I don't know nearly enough about it.
I don't get into it a lot on here, but I have a mentorship program is how I do blogging, where you meet with me by phone, Skype, or in person to get your brand down before you come to my one-day workshop. You leave a one-day workshop with a blog set up and blogs posted.
Nice. That's
the guarantees I give you. But that first blog post, I make them write. It's always something to do with what the dynamics are of the group.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Okay. So that one, the dynamics. Okay. The dynamics part of the group that I found last month was that most of them were vegetarian. So I used the idea of I'm a vegetarian because, or I'm not a vegetarian because. And when I did that, it was so easy for them who are vegetarians to tell why and start typing it. And those who aren't vegetarians, it's so easy to say, well, I love meat and tell why. You know what I mean? And it's when you pick a subject that's relevant for everybody, and then it takes the idea of the fear out of writing. I did 1 month where everybody in there had I found out like different things that they were interested in like childhood books. Mm-hmm. And I said, I came up and I made them write about their very first Dr. Seuss book that they read. All right. And within 15 minutes, they're all done with a post. You know what I mean? And that's the idea. That's just, the whole idea is the exercise is to get you to write something and post it.
Yeah. Well, what you've also tapped into there is something that we do as well, is grabbing a perspective. And the one that you choose is the passionate piece of needing to be a vegetarian.
Yeah.
But then your second one is even more fundamental, and one that I absolutely would gravitate towards. Just about everything that I do inside of podcasting, whether it's entertainment review or jumping into another seat inside of someone else's podcast, there's always something about my life that comes up inside of what we're talking about. Mm-hmm. And that's totally intentional because I'm leaving a legacy inside of podcasting, just like I'm leaving a piece of a legacy here inside of your blab.
Yeah.
I want people to understand a little bit about me, a little bit of how I function, but more importantly, what my life and how my life has brought me where I am.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that's it. And that's what I like about you. And a couple times we've gotten to know each other is that's it. You're the same thing. You know what I mean? You're going in there and you're coming in here. What do? Immediately, and we use that V word. You're coming in here and adding value to my audience. Why? Because you're taking it from a different perspective and saying, yes, this works because I use the same idea over here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I've never lost on perspective. I've had some gravelly times with people that I've been across the table from or inside of a room like this, but it's always been something educational. Mm-hmm. And being able to incorporate those educational moments into your life, whether they are good or bad, is always a score. You'll never lose on those.
Yeah. Cool bean. So we're going to get you on the Tim Gillette radio show one of these days.
I'd like that. Let me know.
I'm sure with all the podcasts you got, sooner or later you'll find some that want me. So I need to get you online to make sure that happens.
Your rock and roll and motorcycle stuff that has a great flavor, and I look forward to learning more about it. How you operate, in particular, your the beginning pieces of your website, of your blogging style programs, the implementation of those. That's why I stopped in. I saw your title, and I wanted to see, and I wish I'd have gotten in about 10 minutes earlier because it looks like I missed the meat of it.
Yeah.
But I'll keep watching to see, is this something you're going to do regularly this day of the week, or just whenever it comes?
To this about 5:45 my time, which I think you're on Central too.
Yeah, we're in the same time.
Because 7 o'clock I have to pick up my wife from work. So
sure.
I'll be done in time to drive down to pick her up.
Sure.
Then there's times I'm not in town, so it all depends on whether I can fit it into the schedule. Like next week, I'm in Los Angeles for 3 days. So
Great. Say hi to the Rams for us. That'd be great.
Huh?
Say hi to the Rams for us. That'd be great.
Wait a minute. The guys' event that I'm going to be at, okay, and you guys are going to see, I actually teach in here, but I'll let you see I'm real, okay? I do real to let the conversation go a little bit every now and then. The guys' event I'm going to be at is a Chiefs fan.
Sure.
And Chiefs fans are so unique, all right? These people are like diehard. We're gonna root for this team while they die every year.
Yeah. Oh, except for this year, it's that was the funny gravitation note inside of just about everybody's Facebook profile here in St. Louis was, since we can't be Rams fans anymore, I guess I'm going to have to be a Chiefs fan. Wow. Hey, we're in the playoffs already. So that works too. That works too.
So I pick on this guy because he's a Chiefs fan all the time. And like there was a thing on our chat board today on Facebook about he has a surprise on Tuesday night at our event. And I'm like, please don't tell me we're going to have to watch another Chiefs playoff game. And one of the guys chimed in and said, oh, the Chiefs will be out of the playoffs by then.
Yeah. What's funny about Chiefs fans too is their stadium is built right in the middle, right off the highway. That's why it's fun to play them, it was fun to play them when we had a football team.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why it was fun, because you could drive up the highway 4.5 hours, go and watch the game, come back, and then the next week you'd go and play. They would come to us and play here inside of St. Louis. What I want to emphasize, though, about the Chiefs fans, super, super dedicated. I tell people that I'm from the Great White North in Wisconsin, and I am. And it gets really, really cold up there with real snow. And what is amazing is that Chiefs fans will sit in weather that shames Chicago's weathers.
Mm-hmm.
And it's amazing because it's just wide open expanse where the football stadium is. There's very little in the way of anything. It's massive. It's this huge, giant stadium right across the street from a one lone Holiday Inn hotel. At least it was a Holiday Inn. It might have changed hands.
Yeah.
But that they go and they sit in that bowl and freeze their ass off every single week.
Mm-hmm.
Just amazing.
As
totally amazing.
Green Bay fans?
Yeah, I've actually been to 9 Green Bay games in my lifetime, and you know what? It's definitively cold. But after they've put in the heaters inside of the ground, it's not nearly as cold as it could and what was now, which is really strange.
And it's one of those things. This is truthfully, I'm not a sports fan. We're into the Mavericks here in Dallas, the basketball team. My wife's a big fan, so I go to that a lot. And, of course, I'm a Mark Cuban fan, so that works for me. But some of the experiences when it comes to sports, like I said, I really want to be in a town that wins the Super Bowl because the championship parade is cool. That Mavericks parade, when the Mavericks won, oh, my God, that was so cool to be here when that happened. All right? The other experience that I would really, really love to have is go experience a Green Bay game. Mm-hmm. And to sit in, I'll wear a Green Bay shirt even though I'm not a fan, and I want to sit because I'm told that is an experience that you like none other.
It is. It's
to go to a Philadelphia game. That's an experience as a Philadelphia fan. That is huge.
Yeah, Green Bay is transformative. There is, I don't know anything like it. Even the love that Cardinal fans give the Cardinals here in St. Louis, that's super, super thick blood. Mm-hmm. What happens inside of Lambeau it's as if your blood was made of sausage or made of bratwurst. Mm-hmm. And
which everybody is another thing that they're great at up there. Just
amazing. Yeah. Yeah.
They're real good at that.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah. I went last year. I had to fly out of Florida, and my change flight was in Milwaukee. And I knew the bars in the airport of Milwaukee. That's how bad this is. And I'm like, dude, I'm waiting to get me a Bloody Mary at that bar in Milwaukee Airport.
Yeah. MKE's airport has also transformed a lot. If you haven't been there in the last 5 or 6 years, that's also become something completely different. That whole the whole highway interchange has changed. Mm-hmm. In particular, that downtown highway interchange. I don't know that you'd recognize it. You might recognize some of the landscape buildings, but that highway has completely transformed that central downtown Mecca elevated highway stuff. It's all completely different now.
Yeah. So, I was I was there 2011. I was there because of I proposed to my wife at the Harley Museum.
Oh, sure.
That's what that's where I proposed was to Harley.
My uncle stayed there recently during Memorial Day at the Iron Horse Inn right across the way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Glorious place.
So.
It's an amazing area. That museum is beyond awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's also where I was able to take part in the first riding a motorcycle but not going anywhere machine. It's essentially a treadmill for motorcycles for those of you that aren't initiated, and it's tremendous. You get the flavor of just about any bike that you'd like to ride, and it absolutely gives you the flavor that you're on a bike to allow you to know the controls and what you can do and what you should be doing with them.
Yeah, very true, very true. Well, let me close this broadcast out here, the recorded part of it anyway. All right,
sure.
And we can carry on. But here, guys, it's my name is Tim Gillette. I created the Rock and Roll Keys to Business Success, and this here program is done Rock Around Your Blog. It's blogging ideas and tips we do. All right, we've got 42 episodes done now in the can. All right, I have a mentorship program. If you want to find out more about it, all right, timgillette.com. Connect with me through the contact form or go over there and get my free reports and newsletter, which around the newsletter is all a video newsletter. I give video tips on how to build your blog and brand. My mentorship program is we find your personal brand. We help you find people who are in industry, so we separate you from them. We have a one-day workshop where you come and leave with a blog, and then I follow up to make sure you're successful and you get to be part of our community. We have a whole community of people who've graduated from the program. To find out more, stop by timgillette.com. Connect with me there. I'll be glad to connect with you. Until tomorrow night on Rock Around Your Blog, have a good night, ladies and gentlemen.